We are here at HSP Diesel, and I have Ryan, which is the technician here, and I have the one and only Rustbelt Mechanic behind me. And I thought this would be a pretty interesting video to share with you guys, some good information to drop for some of you guys interested in certain kits. And one in particular that I was actually very interested to see when I looked under the hood of this guy's truck. He's running a full HSP kit and air intake system. Actually, Ryan, what exactly is that intake called? Is it like a certain stage or?
So that's basically our cold air intake. We offer it with our stock turbos, and then we also offer it on our S3 and S4 single kits.
Okay, so it's going to couple right to the stock turbo, and so just any normal guy with a truck that just wants to put a really nice simple intake is going to have a cover over it. So as you guys well know, I do run another piping kit that does not have that. So we're going to kind of talk about pros and cons, or maybe more of cons or pros versus.
Absolutely.
I know that you've been doing a lot of work and research with these kits. That's what you guys do here day in and day out. So I appreciate you being on the channel and having us here.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Okay, once again, I got Kyle here with his stuff and the truck master. Your camera's cool, mine's not, but it's whatever, man. It's all good. We all get to see this and learn from each other. So we have here the HSP kit. Now, Ryan, exactly what kind of kit, or is this a bundle kit that you can order on your website, or what's going on here?
This is one of our bundle kits that we offer. It comes with the bridge, cold side, hot side tube, and our cold air intake with a turbo mouthpiece.
And of course, it's coupled to the 68mm Ryan's diesel service turbo. I say that a lot.
Race version.
The race version with the high flow vanes, and it complements the kit nicely. Specifically, I would hate to say spool up because I'm not 100% sure. I'm not driving your rig, but I'm sure it's
slow.
But in general, it sounds awesome.
Oh, the sound, you can't beat the sound of these. You really can't. Yeah, compiled with this intake, the sound that comes from here and out the exhaust, yeah, there's no other Duramax like this.
You want to go ahead and start her up?
Let's do it.
We'll just do a little starter upper noise. Puts a big smile on my face.
Every time.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we have the HSP kit here, and then we have the WCFAB kit. I love the WCFAB kit. I think they come out with some pretty great products, but something that's pretty concerning to me, and this is why I have the expert here, I have Ryan here to explain this, is, and a lot of you guys as well, you guys say the same thing, that you guys don't like the open intake system where it's essentially sucking the hot air from the engine while you're driving back into your intake. I don't know if it's a good solution or not. I know that they had a YouTube video out there called Killing a Duramax, which I thought was pretty informative. On the other side here, Kyle, you went with HSP for a lot of reasons. I know you did a video on it.
I did a lot of research on it, and that was one of the biggest talking points on getting the intake air temps down on it.
Intake air temps, and that's so important. It's very crucial, it really is. Hey, Joe.
What's going on, guys?
We have Joe here. He is the owner of HSP, and as well as Ryan. Ryan is the big brains as far as the technician piece goes. And I know we just talked about both kits very, very quickly here, but what are some of the benefits between the open intake and the, I would say, closed intake system?
So the biggest thing we're going to run into with having the air filter under the hood is it's going to want to draw in the hot air from the engine compartment, as you said earlier. With our kit, with the heat shield box on there, that's going to shield it from the hot air from the engine and allow it to bring in cold air from the front of the truck, reducing the intake air temperatures, and in turn that's going to increase the horsepower of your truck.
Now, when you have this air box, if it was not to have that, is there any kind of horsepower numbers that it would be robbing on taking the hot air temps instead of the colder ambient air temps like what your box has?
The cooler we can keep it. I mean, EGTs are going to be cooler. The truck's going to be more responsive. It's going to essentially create more horsepower. The ducting in the side of the fender, from the inner fender, it pours colder air in there, comes through your grill, pulls cold air in there, and really just keeps it as cool as it can be. The way that the plumbing, I like the parallel lines of the factory plumbing, so we kind of mimic that for this style. And I mean, essentially it's just keeping it cool and keeping the horsepower what it should be.
Okay, so now that we explained that, from what I'm learning from what Joe and Ryan have been talking about, is lower temperature is going to increase horsepower, and it's been a proven thing. So now we're going to go ahead and come on along over here to the open intake section, and we're going to kind of explain sort of, and I would like to say, and I said it in the past, Joe and Ryan, pros and cons. I don't know if there would be a pro or con. I know that you have a compound kit that does have the, you know, that there's no box around it because there's no room in the engine bay for it. But what are your thoughts on the on this style here?
Now with the WCFAB kit, you see the slight differences here and there. One is going to be preference of air tubing. Mine, the inlet air from the intercooler actually passes behind the alternator. I know different kits offer that, but that's just a slight difference to it. But the big difference we wanted to see was where the air inlet is. Pretty much the filters are going to be about the same size. They use pretty close to the same filter sock for them as well, so it's not going to be a huge difference on getting the air to it. It's going to be the quality of air that's going to be going into the engine. When that quality of air is actually cooler, you're going to get that better air density, better combustion for the engine, and it's going to like that, and it's going to respond a whole lot better. Just at standard idle temp, the differences between what I was getting in the engine bay temperatures compared to what I was getting in, say, the closed off air boxes, and it was like a 20-degree difference. So with that 20-degree difference, what kind of differences are we looking at in like horsepower, efficiency, and things like that?
Different variables as far as, you know, calculating the horsepower, you know, depending on what intakes go into it. But like we said before, the cooler we can keep it, we have a lot better chance of making the motor run the way it should. You know, keeping temperatures, you know, in check. Driving it on the road, everything we've been testing, and with our temperature probes that we put in there, we can keep driving on an ambient temperature day. We can stay within 2 degrees of the ambient temperature that's outside. I know that we've tested it with more of an open style box, and even with just a partially closed box with some of the other manufacturers, and we were seeing anywhere from between 20 to 25 degrees higher than ours with the other box, with our, you know, almost fully enclosed box. So as far as a true power gain, I would say that's going to be, you know, up to a dyno to show what it can go back to back. I love the fact that, you know, we're just going to collect every bit of data we can and let the data do the talking. I mean, I don't want to, I'm definitely not here to bash anybody. There's a ton of good manufacturers out there that make good parts, and we're obviously just trying to do the best we can and keep building on everything we're learning every day. I do this because I love it, and making stuff go fast is awesome, and hopefully we'll just keep building better products and keep improving the trucks for everybody.
Okay guys, so that is all the time that we have for today. I'm actually pretty excited to push this information out to you guys. For some of you that are trying to make the best educated decision on what to do as far as piping kits, understand that I've used a couple kits. I use WCFAB, and I also use some cheap China stuff. WCFAB has got some great quality products out there on the market, as well as HSP, as well as SDP, and we can keep going on down the line. And this is a great opportunity to show Kyle's truck on the channel and his setup versus my setup. So other than that, guys, I do appreciate your time. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.